Crowdy with the Film by Bike Film Festival, and today on Bike Culture Talk, we're going to be interviewing Kevin Prentice from Ride with GPS, a bike mapping and tracking tool based here in our home city of Portland, Oregon, but used all throughout the world. I can't wait to chat with Kevin about how Ride with GPS makes it even easier to discover and plan great bike adventures. So Kevin, thanks so much for joining me today on Bike Culture Talk.
Thanks for having me. It's good to chat with you. And, if we can't see each other in person, it's good to at least do this.
Yeah, we're really excited to be here with you today. I know you guys have a global audience. We've got Keith Spangler and Billy Rich tuning in the chat window. They're both really excited to hear more about Ride with GPS. I know you have a great global fan base and user base. I think that's always really neat to see who's out there using the tool. I first discovered you guys as a Portland thing, and then I quickly realized you guys had this broad reach. And so it's awesome to see the way you guys have expanded over the years. And folks, if you're tuning in, feel free to use the chat window there to ask any questions. We'll try and get to those as we can along the way, or just give a little shout out if you're a Ride with GPS user. So Kevin, I thought it'd be interesting to hear a little bit more from you about what is Ride with GPS and what are the nuances of the platform.
Well, we're a software company that makes software primarily for cycling. We're used by a number of other kind of activity types. If you're a hiker or a walker, or our friends up in Canada in the wintertime, you will see their bike rides switch over to cross-country skiing and snowmobiling activities. So, yeah, it's really agnostic. It can be used by anyone to plan and, customize routes. We started out as kind of a platform. No, you're okay. Started out as kind of a way to upload routes that you plan to your Garmin devices, and then we came out in 2014 with our mobile app, and that's kind of been our kind of main focus to deliver a superior navigation experience to our community with our marquee feature, voice navigation, for any routes that you plan or that you find.
Yeah, I really like that there are the different nuances. I mean, and I know some people who primarily use it in one direction. They're just planning their route. So that's where I really started out. And then maybe using it as a way to track a route, or maybe using it as a way to discover new routes. And then I also really like the way events are using Ride with GPS in various ways, just one being a great way to share their routes with their riders so people can explore the route and find out what the supported event is all about. And I love that it has kind of those different layers and different ways to interact with the tool. So tell us a little bit about some of the features people may not know about with Ride with GPS, maybe those little underutilized aspects that you think are really cool features of the platform.
Let's see. First, I would start with our newest feature, collections, which is kind of, we'd been asked to do what people called folders for a number of years. So we finally got around to doing that a month ago and released a feature called Collections, which is, a way to finally let people organize their routes and rides, both on the web and in the mobile app. So if people were planning, a very long tour, or if folks wanted to organize their commute rides, they can now consolidate all of those things into a singular collection. Folks can put a collection together and share that with all their friends, with their family. You can actually follow people's collections too. So if I was putting together, or you were putting together, best bike rides in PDX, I could, follow that collection. And as you updated that collection and added new content, it would just automatically get added on my end as well.
Well, that's super cool. I've been hearing a little bit about the collections, and developments like this, do these primarily come about from you hearing from the users that they're interested in new features, or how have you guys really grown and evolved over the years?
Yeah, that's really been a big aspect of it. We have a wonderful and vocal community that we are engaged with on a daily basis. Anybody that's written into our support channel I would hope attest to. And yeah, we value everyone's feedback, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, whether it's suggestions. We listen to everyone, and we blend that into the things that we think we should be doing. We kind of from a business perspective, we have no investor money. We don't do advertisements. We're 100% member supported, which is great because that gives us the freedom and ability to listen to our community and do the things that they want us to do, which then turns around and gives us a more robust membership base. So it's a great feeling, and it's a really a fun and awesome way to run the business.
Yeah, I would agree. And Kevin is wondering, or Keith is wondering, how would you describe the difference between collections versus events on the Ride with GPS platform?
Hello, Keith. By the way, and great question. Collection, you folks will no longer need to create events in order to organize their routes and rides. That's was really what a lot of our singular consumers were doing with events, because events were really the only way to patch together a set of routes. And additionally, once you create an event with routes, then you would get that synced to your mobile app. So that would be a way that you could just find a set of 10 or 20 or 5 routes or whatever. So now you don't need to do that. Just stick routes or rides into a collection, search routes and stick those into a collection, find other folks' collections and hit that follow button. And then those will get synced directly to your homepage in the mobile app, in addition to your collections page on the website. And then it just acts like any other route. So I could follow Alien's best PDX bike rides. It's on my mobile app, and I can just, in a couple of taps, I can find all of those routes, and I can launch navigation, or I can download them for offline use.
I think that's really great. The discovery aspect of Ride with GPS is just so cool. I love it when I'm in a new area and I want to find a place to ride. It's so fun to be able to look for what's in this area, or an area that I know and I just want to find something new, or I've always done this mileage, I'd like to change it up. I think it's really powerful, the user-driven aspect of it, and then seeing what those routes are, and then sometimes seeing that other people have similar ones, and then I know, okay, this is a golden one. There are 20 people that have a very similar route. This must be an awesome place to ride.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So tell us a little bit about the ambassadors, the Ride with GPS ambassadors.
So we work with, a lot of great people who've been using our products for a long time, who also do really cool things in the community. Our first ambassador we started working with was Sarah Swallow, who we'd known for a long time. She's great friends with our designer, Molly. They're both co-founders of the WTF Bike Explorers group. And we just built a relationship with her for a long time, and it made sense for us to work together. So she came on as an ambassador a couple of years ago, and she's bikes and route planning is her lifestyle. That's what she does. She's fantastic at it. She's adventurous. She travels all over the world. She has incredible photos. It's really been a blast to both get to follow and see what she's done, in addition to work with her, on a personal and professional level. We started working with Ben Davies not too long ago, who is kind of an up-and-coming ultra-endurance rider based out of the UK. He got second in the Transcontinental race last year, so it's been really great getting to know him and working with him. He had a Cairo to Cape Town adventure planned that was supposed to start a couple weeks ago, April 1st, that obviously he had to put on the back burner. But we had a bunch of stuff lined up for that. We actually have a journal article covering his kind of planning process coming out here at the end of this week. And he was actually going to go for a world record attempt on this from that city to city, which would have been cool. Had no doubts that he would have done it. And he was raising funds for World Bicycle Relief as well. So it was a really great project that got put together that unfortunately got put on hold. But hopefully he'll be able to get back to that here whenever we all get back to whatever we've been doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we also around that time started working with James Hayden, another ultra endurance rider out of the UK, who he's a 2-time winner of the Transcontinental race. He just came in second place in the inaugural Atlas Mountain race in Morocco earlier this year. We'd known him for a long time, been emailing him for a long time. He's just a really stand-up guy, very talented and very, very cool to work with. And then we also work with Chaz Christensen, not really Chaz, who's based out of down in California, who's actually been really good friends with a guy that I work with, Will Lauberns, at our company. They used to be messenger buddies together, and they've stayed in contact forever. So he kind of put us in touch. And Chaz has just a really unique and cool kind of design aspect on things, and also does a lot of bike packing and events. So he's been kind of another cool, different shaped cog to put into the mix to kind of give us a very, well-rounded group of individuals to work with.
Yeah, I love seeing what the ambassadors are up to, because even though many of them may be cycling in a manner that is a little bit outside my league, I'm still so inspired by what they do, and seeing their big adventures makes me want to do an adventure that's big or medium or just fun for the day for me. And I just love that aspect of what you guys are doing. So we get that glimpse of people who are really out there and in the thick of things.
Yeah, I agree. And I like kind of learning their kind of different personal takes on route planning. We've got a cool article coming from James here later this week, folks asking him how he, goes about his planning process. And, do you take, shortest distance from 2 points? Do you factor in elevation gain? Do you look at the stops and where you can resupply and stuff like that? So a lot of good answers will be coming in that article later this week.
Well, folks, we are interviewing Kevin Prentice from Ride with GPS, a route mapping and tracking tool. And as we conduct this interview, we are in the midst of quarantine. So I think this is a really fun time to be checking out the routes, dreaming of the future, watch some film by bike movies to get inspired, look through Ride with GPS to discover new routes and plan your bike adventures, because we do know that one day we'll be back on our bikes. It may not be happening today, but it will happen. And in the meantime, we can be exploring. I love to just kind of poke around and think about different areas and just explore what routes have people mapped in those areas. I think that's a really fun way to just kind of dink around on Ride with GPS for an evening. Forget Netflix and chill. It's Ride with GPS and chill.
I hope you haven't trademarked that one, because I may have to put that on the list.
You can have it.
Yeah,
I'll give that to
you. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I do it too. I've actually been kind of going back and fine tuning some of the overnighters that I have done or that I had planned to do when this all gets said and done and we get back to our usual way of life or close to that. I've got a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old at home, so my touring days, though they really didn't even start, they're definitely put on hiatus. But I've often get the chance to get out for the S24O, the sub 24 hour. So I'm in the midst of putting together a very cool collection for myself personally on sub 24 hour adventures out and back from Portland. So hopefully I'll get a nice stash put together and get to ticking those off the list soon.
And why would you say a tool like Ride with GPS is so important or so valuable to have?
I mean, we are, I would say that we have the best route planner to, plan and curate a personalized route. We also are sitting on the best stockpile of routes from the community. Millions and millions of routes from all over the world that are available for you to find and then make copies of and tweak them to your personal interests. We released our route planner on our mobile apps in the 1st of December, just last year. We built in some really cool smart tools where you can find other folks' routes and directly import them into the route planner and then do some really cool smart features. You can edit them however you see fit. You can add services. You can add stops. There's tools to quickly change the start point. So if I found a really cool route from your house that went somewhere, I could take that, pull that into the planner, and just with a couple of clicks, I could amend that start location from your house or from wherever you started the route to my current location or my house where I was currently at. And the turn-by-turn directions get automatically updated, and it would just take a couple of minutes, and out the door I could go and ride your route, but ride it from where I was currently at.
Oh, that's very cool. I love that idea. Well, Kevin, it's been so great talking with you today. As we are in the midst of quarantine, we need to stay inspired and remind ourselves that we will be back out on our bikes. You don't want to spend that beautiful sunshine out in the world time planning route. So do it now while we're all stuck inside. I look
Yes.
forward to seeing people finally finalizing routes that they hadn't yet fully logged and adding the photos and just kind of dialing things in and really using this as an opportunity to dream big about where we want to go on our bikes. And I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me a little bit more today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining me. So, folks, this is Bike Culture Talk here at Film by Bike, and we are interviewing a wide variety of people in the bike culture all throughout the world. Stay tuned, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and get notified when we have upcoming live streams. And don't forget, coming up this weekend, we are launching our bike movie nights. This is a whole series of events that we have planned here at Film by Bike, where we're going to be entertaining you as we get through quarantine. And we are kicking things off with Stories with Heart, a great event. We are excited to be talking about World Bicycle Relief and their upcoming efforts to get bikes to health workers on the front lines. And we'll be talking more about that on Saturday. Get your tickets at filmbybike.org. And thanks so much for tuning in today.